What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Starcraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the bottom right hand corner of Catalyst LE, playing with the blue Terran pieces. He's currently down 0-1 and wants to get this series back in his favor. His name is uThermal. And his opponent spawning in the cross position, playing with the red Zerg pieces. We have a player who's currently up 1-0, wants to keep this series going in his favor. His name is Snute. So guys, you guys can check out game number 1 on the YouTube channel right now. And I'm super excited to see what Snute decides to do in game number 2. Now, very interestingly enough, guys, we see a very early spawning pool. I love this decision making, guys. I absolutely love it. Snute's ahead 1-0. Why not do something a little bit cheesy? Why not? And it looks like on the opposite side, it's a relatively standard build, at least at this point. It looks like uThermal has decided to go for of course, the barracks into the refinery. Probably going to go ahead and get the orbital command here relatively soon. Now, it does look like there is going to be a natural hatchery coming up here as well. It looks like Snute just decided to go ahead and get that spawning pool very, very early on in the game to maybe get the Zergling speed upgrade as well as get his units out quicker than before. He might have thought possibly there was going to be a very early push here by his opponent. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Looks like it's going to be a relatively standard build by uThermal. But nonetheless, guys, I have a feeling that this is going to be a pretty fun game of ZvT. Between these two players that was played at the WCS in Valencia. But pretty soon, Snute's going to see exactly what's going on, and I wonder if that's going to make him want to maybe push a little bit early here. Wouldn't surprise me one bit, to say the least. These Zerglings are going to come across the map here, and they're probably going to try to start nibbling away at this SCV here. Now, surprisingly enough, these Zerglings are going to run into the main base location and are going to basically just be completely sacrificed there. Now, the Reaper is going to try to get as much scouting information as possible, and this drone looks like he's going to be under a little bit of some pressure, and nicely enough, a little bit of some micro did keep that drone alive. So it looks like Zergling speed's going to be coming up. It looks like a starport's going to be coming up. The factory is back onto that reactor. Looks like the tech of choice is going to be 2 more of these Hellions are going to be coming out here once again. The Reaper's out, and the Reaper's trying to get some information here, or at least some scouting information, to see what exactly his opponent is deciding to do. And it looks like Snute has just really transitioned into a pretty macro-focused game here. I'm kind of surprised because he went for such an early spawning pool. I was thinking that he would definitely get aggressive here, but it does not seem to be the case whatsoever. And looks like more and more Hellions are going to be coming up here for uThermal, as well as a Raven. So it looks like both players are going for very similar builds. Snute changed it up a little bit by getting his spawning pool a little bit early, but you know, it's one of those things, guys. Looks like there is going to be a timing push here with some of these Hellions, and I think though that our Zerg player will be ready for this with some does have some queens out right now. And it looks like these Hellions are already coming up on this location of the Zerg. Looks like he has decided to kind of back off, though. Maybe take a different angle, possibly. And it looks like that's exactly what uThermal is going to do. He's going to try to nibble away at this third base location here. But nonetheless, that was a big scout for him. He knows now that there is a third base that's going to be up and running here very, very soon. And it looks like uThermal has decided to go ahead and get his third base expansion. Talk about a macro and really just creating a bigger and bigger armies for both these players. They're giving each other a lot of mutual respect. And in return, we're getting some serious, you know, macro games here between these two opponents. Very interesting. And it does look like these Hellions are going pretty far on a creep here. You want to be careful. Do not want to lose these Hellions for practically free. The Banshee is out right now. And it does look like these Zerglings are going to try to nibble away at this third base here that's turning into an orbital command. But Hellions are back there as well. So both players, like I said, getting their upgrades at this point. Stimpack as well as +1/+1s coming up for the Terran player. And then +1/+1s coming up for our Zerg player as well for ground-based units. And I don't know, man. Fourth base is going to be coming up here for Snute. So he's planning on just playing the macro game, man. And it looks like uThermal's kind of planning on doing the same thing as well. They really are, if you think about it, they really are giving each other a lot of respect right now. Both players, that is. They really are letting each other kind of build up an army, and it's almost like they're just going to clash at some point or another. Very interesting type of strategy here by both players. Now, Snute is known to generally go for macro-focused builds. He likes to play the macro game. uThermal is essentially the exact same thing, but it looks like uThermal's been really trying to he's been trying to be the one who keeps the pace of the game in his favor. And it looks like he is going pretty far onto creep here. I wonder how much uThermal wants to push onto creep here, and it looks like he is starting to get a little bit of some value here out of all these units, but there is a lot of Zerg here. I would be very careful if I was uThermal. Don't want to lose this army for practically free here, as Snute has more and more roaches coming up, and I think that transition is very good for Snute at this point. Glial Reconstitution is going to be coming up here very soon, and then we also have some Ravagers coming up here for Snute. So I think there's some very good decision making there by Snute when he sees, you know, a ground-based unit composition from the Terran player. Getting roaches are pretty much good against all the ground units of the Terran. So I think that this was a great decision. Now the question is Snute going to start pushing across the map? He knows he's pretty well ahead now after that engagement. But the question is he going to decide to start pushing across the map here? And it does look like he's going to try to get the surround on some of these units, but it didn't necessarily work. But there's a whole nother line of fire here that is coming, of more and more Zerg are coming across the map here, and I'm wondering, is our Terran player going to have enough to hold off this push by the Zerg? He's going to get as many of these supply depots as possible, really supply blocking his opponent, and it does look like he may or may not continue this aggression. It looks like he just wanted to get some, you know, get some, you know, value out of the army that he had, and that's exactly what he did, getting some of those supply depots. So Snute is still in a really good position right now. I mean, more and more Ravagers are going to be coming up. The Spire's going to be coming up, as well as the Hydralisk Den. I really like the position right now of Snute. Snute is in a real position of power right now, in my opinion. He's going to be maxing out here very soon, and uThermal is trying to play catch-up as best he can. There's a Marine drop here. I feel like uThermal hasn't been aggressive enough with these Marine drops. And I mean, my God, look at all these Roaches and Ravagers coming across the map here. I think Snute wants to end this game right here and right now. And it looks like that's exactly going to be what he's going to try to do. Get those Biles to land here. I mean, we're talking a pretty big unit composition here. You got to be careful, though. uThermal's trying to get back into this game here, and with just a couple of really nice hits with those siege tanks, it could be back in uThermal's favor here very, very soon. So you got to be really careful. It looks like uThermal's going to test the grounds here. He's going to test out what might be going on here by the Zerg player, and he looks like he wants to keep on pushing. Keep on pushing with this army here, and the Zerg player does not want to get caught off guard, at least at this point in the game here. They are a little bit behind getting up the ramp, and it does look like all these Terran units are going to start moving. There is an infestor out right now, and more of these corruptors, as well as some more infestors are going to be coming up here, as well as some queens. I'm wondering, you know, when it comes to this type of, you know, composition, who's going to have the edge here? There's a lot of medevacs that are out on the field right now, and uThermal has somehow, someway really got back into this game, but with some great biles there, it looks like Snute is going to try his best to surround this army, but it does look like uThermal is absolutely playing this brilliantly right now. He's getting a lot of value out of some of these units that he has, really pushing the Zerg player back. And it looks like he's just going to keep on pushing here. He's going to continue his aggression here, which I think is a very good idea. Really want to start continuing that aggression and pushing onto creep here. But he's getting so much value right now. These marauders, as well as these Marines and all these medevacs. The classic Marine Marauder medevac is absolutely decimating Snute's army. GG is called, and uThermal has evened up this score 1-1 in an epic matchup of ZvT. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between uThermal and Snute, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.